In season 14 of Chicago Fire, Stella Kid isn't exactly enjoying herself, and it's not enjoyable to watch the show put her through her paces. Since her debut in season 4, Miranda Ray Mayo's Chicago Fire character has emerged as one of Firehouse 51's most significant cast members. Sadly, she hasn't been regarded as such by the NBC procedural drama TV show. Indeed, Kid has had some genuinely amazing events throughout her tenure on Chicago Fire. Both her work as a firefighter and her relationship with Kelly Severide have undoubtedly been highlights, despite the fact that their romance has undoubtedly had its share of ups and downs. But there's no denying that Kid has been mistreated by Chicago Fire in season 14. Christopher Herman's house burning down in season 14, episode 4, was Chicago Fire's most recent claim against Kid. Many will concur that the real victims of the fire were Herman and his family. However, Kid and Severide's foster child, Isaiah, managed to garner some criticism from the tragedy. Isaiah inquired about Herman's son, who is the same age as him, after learning of the house fire, and Kid assured him that the tiny child would be all right. But Isaiah didn't want to hear it, as it turned out. Kid was unaware that her remark appeared to offend him. When his foster mother made assumptions about Herman's son's welfare, Isaiah snapped at her. There is little question that Isaiah's tragedy led him to feel pity for Herman's son in Chicago Fire season 14, episode 4. He probably had an incident and people thought he was fine when in fact he wasn't. But Kid was unaware of that. She only wanted to soothe Isaiah, who isn't at fault either. After all, he's only a young child who has experienced a lot. Kid still didn't deserve to be scolded, and the constant tension between her and Isaiah has only been highlighted by their altercation in Chicago Fire season 14, episode 4. Since she and Severide took Isaiah in, Kid hasn't been able to get along with him, but her husband has made it seem simple. But Kid's issues aren't limited to her domestic life. In just 4 episodes of season 14 of Chicago Fire, Kid has already experienced a miscarriage, a tense connection with her foster child, and issues with her unruly new firefighter, Sal Vasquez. Kid just can't seem to get a break. For heaven's sake, the season practically began when Kid found out that her and Severide had lost their child. While the season 14 opener of Chicago Fire started with Kid and Severide grieving the loss of a child, the season 13 finale concluded with them celebrating her pregnancy. Kid hasn't had a chance to catch his breath since the NBC procedural drama. Furthermore, it doesn't appear that the show will stop bothering her. Kid met Carver's replacement in the Chicago Fire season 14 premiere shortly after she found out about her loss, and she didn't like him right away. Kid finds Vasquez to be an all-around annoyance at work since she is disobedient, obstinate, and conceited. At home, however, Isaiah hasn't been making her foster parent duties easy. In episode 5, Kid will now encounter additional challenges at work. In the commercial for the next hour, Kid faints while on the phone. Severide frantically calls for Kid to answer the radio while she is coughing and on the ground. This is just another instance of how the show is ruining Kid, but the lieutenant will probably be all right. Finally, throughout the first few episodes of season 14, Chicago Fire has made Kid deal with a number of senseless events. However, there is hope for the future. There is still hope for Kid, because the original One Chicago TV series has plenty of time to correct its errors about her season 14 arc. In the upcoming episodes, Kid and Isaiah might make progress. Alternatively, she might succeed in establishing a cordial working relationship with Vasquez, which could lead to friendship. Additionally, Kid may just get a break, ideally for the rest of the season, from the NBC procedural drama series and cease risking her life. Above all, Kid ought to be a parent. It doesn't really matter if that's with Isaiah or a biological child. Maybe the show can break with the adoption pattern of the One Chicago universe and give Kid a good pregnancy. But ultimately, Kid must be content at the end of Chicago Fire season 14, having made up for everything she has endured. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.